Okay, so I'm new to this self-recording, giving this a try for the first time, so bear with me if my video skills aren't too great, but definitely just wanted to share a few thoughts. And first and foremost, I thought of just being thankful for those of you who are kind of building a community right now online, whether it's through chats or, sharing of resources or just reaching out virtually to see how everyone's doing. I think that community support is obviously more important now than ever, um, and know that I guess kind of the thoughts and feelings I wanted to share today come out of that place of love and concern. What I wanted to chat about today, also, I should preface, I'm coming at it from the viewpoint as a parent, and also as an educator. So having the background in the curriculum and administration, those pieces, I guess I view, some of what I'm seeing right now with two different lenses. I know everything that is being done is done out of the goodness of wanting to do what's best for kids, so there's never anything wrong with that. So I just maybe wanted to relieve a little bit of pressure for those of you who are at home right now, feeling like you have to do all of these things with your children that realistically aren't necessary and not needed. And I guess I'll preface it with an example. So if I'm at home right now, I am at home right now with my children, and the other day the boys cleaned out the fridge, and I was observing their spatial abilities in how they were able to put things back into the fridge. Or, when I have them match their socks, that is the never-ending pile, I can look at their strategies, I can look at their patterning, and that is because I have a background in education. All of us who are educators have had that formal training to be able to look at a situation with a very different lens. And that's a gift, and that's a blessing. And I'll add to that, though, too, when I'm here at home, I'm not working in that same teacher capacity. I might make those observations, but my children don't want me to be their teacher at home in that way. They go to school, they have their teachers, and I play the role as mom. I love learning. I love to see children learning. There's no doubt about that. But what I guess want to really share is like a math worksheet right now, being online, checking out all these different resources. Yes, it's great that there are options available, but I don't know that it's really what most children need right now. And when we're all in a situation of feeling stressed, feeling anxious, as it is, creating that relationship with your children where you are now dad/teacher, mom/teacher, or whatever that might be, adds even more stress that really isn't necessary. Having said that, I don't want you to feel that with your child being home that they aren't learning things, and maybe want to offer some tips of things that you could look at as maybe more profound than any sort of learning that would ever take place on a worksheet. Okay. Number one, right now, I think, and all of us are experiencing this as adults, the number one lesson we could be working with our children on is resilience. What does it look like to be resilient? And if we are scheduling them right now or over scheduling them and making sure they're entertained at all hours and making sure that they, have everything kind of provided for them, we're actually doing a disservice. So while I totally understand that that almost like that drive right now, where when we're feeling like things are out of our control, that we go into the mode of full throttle operation and wanting to have our children have this time to make sure they're doing this and this and this, because it's our instinct for them to be safe and loved and cared for. I would just encourage you to be okay with knowing they are loved and cared for and still encouraged in their time of boredom. You are providing an opportunity as a parent for them to be creative, to use their imagination, to sit with their feelings, and that learning, hands down, I wouldn't debate it, is more important than any worksheet or exercise they'll ever do. And that is something that doesn't require years of experience or knowledge and education to have to do, right? So there's a lot of life skills lessons that are taking place in your home and you can provide in your home without having to venture into academics, and your children feeling your love and safety right now is paramount, right? No learning's taking place until that's happened anyway, right? Some other things that I was thinking about, that happen normally in a home where you don't have to go into teacher mode might be, something like right now talking about having a savings account, and why in your house do you need to save money? And maybe that looks like a piggy bank, depending on the age, but hey, it's pretty important in a time like right now to have a little bit of money that we save up, so that if something like this ever happens again, we have, we have a little bit of a reserve fund to be able to draw from, right? So another thing that isn't, teacher mode necessarily, but something that can be easily chatted about at home from a parent perspective. What else was I thinking? Oh, being outside. So simply, I realize following all of the guidelines and orders that are happening right now, but in your front yard or in your backyard, whatever that is for you, just go outside and figure it out. You can throw some equipment or whatever out there if that makes you feel better, but let them just kind of discover and explore and not feel like that has to be structured for them. Okay, so part of this is almost a learning for us as parents to allow them to let go, to experience some very, very safe ways of exploration. So when your children are, doing puzzles, or if they're playing cards, any of those types of activities, they are engaging in math learning. They are developing their critical thinking skills. They are having to learn how to lose and how to win well. There's learning happening there. Okay, and I guess my final suggestion would be just around reading with your children. And that isn't about it being, again, an academic or a literacy focused task, even though that's taking place. It wouldn't be about how fast we're reading or what words we don't know, but simply about it being a bonding experience right now, a time that's, for closeness, for relationship, for, just some quiet time. So I hope in this bit of a ramble, I've given you some ideas of things you can do, or maybe acknowledge some of the amazing things you're already doing that you might not be aware of or might not necessarily think of as, quote unquote, learning. But again, just being kind to yourself in that, if somebody had told me that tomorrow I had to lead an urban planning project, I would be stressed. I would feel like I have no confidence. I would not have the skills to go into that position that I need to be successful. So I would imagine that many of you feel that way about having to be a teacher in that regards in your home. Be kind to yourself. The love and the care and the support you are providing right now is hands down the best learning. And I'll just kind of leave you with, I was chatting with my son the other day, and he said, Mom, this will kind of be like that time when I talk to my grandkids, I'm going to be like, oh, remember when COVID was happening? And that struck me as, yeah, right. Like, this is one of those points in time that we all will, but our children are going to look back on, and I can promise you, when they're sharing with their grandchildren what came from that, it is not going to be about any worksheet they did online. Anyway, take care, and if you have any questions or ever want me to expand on any of that any further, please feel free to reach out.